knows. Just start with a crazy story right as you hit live.
Hello, everybody. This is John Perella, and this is the Texas Fabco takeover of the BroncBuster channel.
You don't look like Tyler.
I don't look like Tyler. I have Sam and Fabian from Armadillo Designs, and Justin standing in short term for Team BroncBuster. Tyler is on his way back to his house. He'll be joining us momentarily, but we figured we'd get started without him because who needs Tyler?
Currently driving through a tsunami.
Yeah, apparently it's a major storm. This episode is going to be all about the trip to Moab for the Bronco Safari, talking about the Armadillo hardtop, the design process that the Armadillo group has gone through, and we've been working with them on it. Tyler's involvement, yes, he is on the toilet. Tyler's involvement in helping us to trail test the Armadillo hardtop and make sure that everything is working and functional and fit and finish is all there. We brought 2 prototypes out to the Bronco Safari event in Moab. We've got a bunch of good video clips and imagery, and obviously we'd love to hear comments, questions, and we can answer as we go. And I'm going to be acting a little bit as a moderator to help go through and talk to Sam and Fabian a little bit about the process leading up to the event. And then when Tyler joins us, we'll be asking his overall opinion of the top and his involvement in the process, and ultimately Amy's opinion of the top after what happened out in Moab. So with that, Sam and Fabian, you want to kind of go through a little bit about how we started, where we got to, what you brought out to Moab, what the drive was like, and how the installs went, and get us started.
Yeah. So that was driving me out to Moab. That's a long ass drive, but
Sam drove most of the
way. Just running on caffeine and Chex Mix. But no, leading up to Moab was a pretty long, about 2-week project where we were working hard, late nights in the shop, trying to get everything prototyped as quickly as possible, get fitment ready to go. John was constantly on top of me trying to get the gaskets done and ready to go. There you see Danny. We had a few all-nighters, that's a long time to be on your feet, but we were able to run through a few different prototypes, get the whole alignment that we liked, test out general fitment before both Fabian and Tyler needed their cars back to get out to Moab themselves. And so we ended up in the short little crunch. We hauled 3 tops in the back of my truck and the rest with John. And so we got the prototypes out, I think late, Tuesday night, and spent the rest of that evening from about midnight till 5 a.m. getting it on Fabian's truck so we could get some content and sort of see it out in the wild for the first time.
Yeah, big shout out to Fabian Blanco and Tyler for actually making the trip out there and letting us work on their Broncos on the spot with no sleep. So that was fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a long adventure. And so how much does the top itself actually weigh?
So we were guesstimating about 250 pounds before actually prototyping it. But once we had it in the shop, we were able to weigh it, and with glass in it, it was only about 150 pounds total. So it's a pretty light top. It ends up being easier to assemble on the ground and install with a few people than build it on the top itself.
Oh, look who decided to join us today.
Our host.
It's Amy's fault. She was driving and she was going way too slow. We got caught in a tsunami coming back from San Antonio. We had to go pick up parts, and we thought, 3 hours is plenty of time. Well, that was our big first mistake. Hour and a half round trip took us 3 hours. So sorry, guys, I'm late, but I think you've been in good hands with these guys. I'll let them continue, and then I got my interjection here in a minute.
Okay.
Tyler in.
So obviously you went out there with a couple prototypes. Where are you in the process? What still needs to be done? Obviously the website's launched and you got pre-sales going on, but give us a rundown of, overall where we are with the tops, when they'll start shipping, what the overall feedback is.
So we appreciate everyone we got to talk to out at Moab who gave us feedback, just general feedback on how it looked, what they wanted. We're now launched with pre-sales, which also gives us a lot of interesting feedback of what people will actually invest in. And so right now we, through the help with Tyler, figured out where we had some rattling, where we had some leaks, where we had some fitment issues, hole alignment. And so right now we're back in the shop. I'm spending the majority of the day making these adjustments. I have a long list in front of me of the tweaks here and there. A lot of it are pretty minor adjustments. One major thing that we heard from customers is they wanted a 3-panel rooftop as opposed to 2. And so this will allow you to store it more easily in the back of your vehicle when you take it off.
We actually have a question about the weight, Sam.
Oh, yeah. How heavy is... Yeah, so how heavy is the center section? I think it's about, I'd want to say 15 pounds a panel currently with the 2-panel setup. And so with that, the main way we're preventing water leakage or rain from getting in is through first the metal drip rail and the J channel between the panels so that any water that bypasses the seal would drain out the side. And then, of course, you'd have the primary weather stripping or seal on each edge of the hardtop.
So tell me a little bit about go ahead, Justin.
I was going to say, as shown in the picture, it's also Amy does not leak through.
Yes.
No, I did not fall in.
So tell me a little bit about like there on Fabian Blanco's Bronco, you can see that the rear hatch is removed. If I want to, I've heard you guys call it a permanent install. Can you explain a little bit about what you mean by a permanent install with this hardtop?
Yeah, so one way to prevent leakages in the future is to have the main components with the primary seals to go on one time. And so we were able to design this hardtop so it really follows that base frame of the Bronco. And so really there's no point in, you don't really need to take off the main roof components. You're able to remove that center rooftop portion there, as well as the gull wings and the back hatch. But the sort of main permanent install is those roof rails on the side, as well as the open slant back.
So if I understand you correctly, you're basically saying that the portion of the top that remains is where the roll cage is. So it's the equivalent of you taking the whole top off, but makes it a lot easier to make it convertible versus go back to fully enclosed. Is that
exactly? We tried to make as much of the tooled assembly for the hardtop with the permanent install components. The things like the rooftop will be compression latches, things of that sort, where you'll just be able to pop it off on the trail and be on your way.
Now, how strong is this? I know you guys have been working with Racket Roof Rack to design a roof rack for it as well. How much weight can you, and I've obviously seen the pictures of you guys and Amy standing on top of it, and how much weight do you think that this thing can hold, and how strong is this roof rack?
So it holds Fabian and myself, so that's about with 500 pounds. 12,000.
Well, And I can say next week, we're going to even go into more of what this can hold, but we're going to hold a little bit about that to show next week how well this Bronco hardtop can really hold up.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, is it stronger than the fiberglass hardtop? Will it hold more weight?
Yeah, so that's a good question. That, of course, we're making it so it'll hold everything you can throw at the racket roof rack for one, but also with the design, the mount points you'd mount for a roof rack are directly on the support pillars within the Bronco. So it's basically you're sitting on a 1/8-inch wall box tube. So it's really stout and sturdy. You're not relying on the fiberglass or anything else to really support your the comments are funny.
Anything can handle Jake's driving. Just kidding, Jake.
Sam, we also had a question about storing the panels, which I know we just made a change to the design about, if you wanted to comment.
Yeah, so we're working on right now the largest part is the roof panels, which Fabian and I think myself are standing on in that picture. We're trying to make those are the largest components, so we're trying to turn those into 3 smaller sections. And then we're working on some sort of tote bag, so you'll be able to throw the panels together and be able to store it in the back of your trunk more easily. At a certain point, we'd probably recommend that you, if you're going fully topless, that you leave the panels at home or by your tent. But we're working on a rear storage solution for all of that.
And I just want to add, if
go ahead, Fabian.
For any reason, if someone were to break glass or dent a gull wing and a body shop can't fix it, we can also just sell those pieces individually versus having to replace your whole entire top.
That's one
great feature.
That's one thing I love about the design is the modularity of it. So where it flat packs for shipping, but if for whatever reason you do roll over, that you can replace individual component parts and not have to buy a. Now I noticed in this one that it's raw aluminum. How are you guys planning on offering this as far as colors, accessories, features? What else did you do about the modularity of the top that makes it different?
So the colors available are going to be, of course, the raw aluminum, and that's going to be for the guy that's like, hey, I want to get this color matched, or you can just clear coat it and rock the look that Fabian has. It's a real head turner, looks sick during the day, looks even better at night. Just gives it that real spaceship kind of out of this world design. And then we have it, of course, offered in black powder coat and then white as well.
And so here's a big question. When you guys were out at Moab, did this thing get hot or, how hot was it out there and what was it like?
It held up pretty well. We experienced some pretty high heat in that high desert, but obviously we also had the wind to deal with and sand everywhere. But both tops, regardless of the color, were really cold or barely warm to the touch. And with the interior liner, which out at Bronco Safari was only the 1/4 inch, we'll be running the 1/2 inch material for products rolling off the line. It was pretty comfortable inside.
And so talk a little bit about that interior headliner and what you guys did with that and tell me a little bit about kind of that EVA foam you used.
So the foam itself, on the prototypes, we used a 1/4 inch, but on the actual product that we'll be rolling out, it's going to be a 1/2 inch material. So double the thickness, double the fun. As you saw in some of the posts, it has a hexagonal pattern. We also have board and diamond cut, which I think Tyler had in his. Got a lot of great compliments from that, some of them in this comment section. It's thermally insulated. It's waterproof. It's great for cleaning. I know some of you are concerned about the dust. Great for sound insulation. Looks awesome. I will say you cannot put patches on it, but we're looking for a solution for that. But even then, it looks so awesome. I don't even think you'd want to put patches on it. But
no, we don't want to cover it. It looks great the way it is.
Not
Sticker
my Bronco.
bomb. I want to sticker bomb it.
So I'm noticing something on here, and Sam, you mentioned the tubular frames. Talk to me a little bit about if I want to mount accessories like lights or anything else. What's the kind of benefit you've got with a tubular frame? And I'm noticing there's actually increased headroom in this compared to the original factory top. So can you talk to those components a little bit?
Yeah, of course. So I've basically plastered it in those rib nuts. So you have a bunch of threaded inserts internally and externally all around the shell. This helps with mounting different attachments as far as the flag mounts. You have the roof rack mounts. Interior, you have different handles you can work with. We're also looking at interior lighting in the future and more grab handles. And so this is really prepping it to be able to accept any attachments we throw its way. Secondly, you have that box tubing, which you can see with those little black discs inserted. This allows you, for one, to get to the mount holes more easily, and then two, you can route wires internally for different accessories inside, and then just simply seal them up with these little rubber inserts, so you get the sound deadening as well as the aesthetics of not seeing all your beautiful cable management.
And you can stash your snacks in there too.
Yeah.
Pretty good for that.
Snacks are important on the trail.
That's
So-
an important thing. Yeah.
One thing that I saw that I know a lot of people complain about with the Broncos is the speaker system in the back kind of blocks your rear vision. I know BroncBuster has a sound bar back there and you can't even see out the rear view, but I'm noticing behind that rear roll cage, there's kind of a pocket with the hardtop. You have any plans to maybe make some brackets to mount that sound bar a little higher up and out of the way where they can see better?
Yeah, so that also ties into your question well, where the rooftop is a little higher because we're able to build off of the top of the roof rails. And so this, again, gives us more storage space and a little more wiggle room to install things like the speaker boxes and power tanks and stuff like that up a little higher out of your view. So you get more view out the rear window, which is either down the highway or at your 37s mounted on the back. Whatever you pick.
40s. Come on now.
40s. Sorry.
So Fabian, why don't you talk a little bit about the different accessories that you guys have come out with out of the gate, and I don't know, Justin, maybe you can take them to the website and we can walk through kind of the, how you'd purchase and what kind of promotions you guys have got going on right now.
We got an exciting one. So yes.
So if you like Molly panels, drop a comment because we got about 50 different. No, I'm just kidding. We have interior Molly panels for the left and right rear gull wings. We also have exterior Molly panels. Sam actually strategically placed rib nuts all throughout the hardtop, so we can just tie into those mounting points for any accessories down the line. So if you're worried about getting Molly panels now versus in the future, don't worry about it. Don't feel pressure to get them off the bat. You can always get them later. But of course, if you want to be the coolest guy on the block, get them now. We also have ones for the rear hatch, and then we have the roof rack tent, or the roof rack, not the tent. And so you can get that as well. And if you guys are familiar with Racket Designs, we actually partnered up with them to integrate that straight into the roof rack, or straight into the rooftop with their roof rack. And so we're excited for that collaboration. And as you can see, there's going to be no rear tower, so you still have full access to the gull wings.
So you guys have come out with a list of accessories, and basically the way I learned it is this is kind of a build your own top type architecture. So you can come in here and choose your color, choose your interior color, choose the pattern you want the interior to be, and then choose what accessories you want. And talk to me a little bit about kind of where you started off, price point, how this all works, what my options are a little bit as far as like if I wanted to build one of these and order one.
Sure. So price point, of course, with the full aluminum piece, it's going to be on the cheaper side because we understand some of you want a color match, or if you just want to go for the raw look, it looks just as great. And then from there, we bump up a little bit to offer the powder coating feature. And then, of course, with the insulation, that's going to be your next step up.
One of the questions earlier was about anodizing. So I think to answer that, it's not going to be an option that we offer, but it definitely, you can get it in the raw aluminum, right, guys? And then anodize it however you want. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I think that's the referencing Popo Patty too. That's going to be our anodized limo build.
Yes, love it.
The SEMA build on 24s.
Yeah.
So you can get it anodized, but the problem is trying to find an anodized tank big enough to be able to dunk that whole slant back or rear panels into. It's kind of big, but
you could clear coat it. You know, if you want to keep that anodized or add that aluminum, raw aluminum, you could definitely clear coat it because it does work
absolutely
pretty cool, raw aluminum.
So talk to me, Fabian, a little bit about the rear hatch glass options and accessories that go along with that.
So for the rear hatch, on the glass, we'll have a defroster as well as a windshield wiper. So great for everyone who loves that option. And again, like we mentioned earlier, if some of you are worried about shattering that glass or anything like that, we can replace it for you. Just contact us and we can offer you that whole rear panel. And so it's great for any features that you guys are worried about, possibly mounting something heavy. And so, yeah.
And the glass itself, it is glass, not plexiglass, correct?
Correct. It's
Okay,
automotive grade glass, so it's nice and safe to put in there, as well as the gull wings. So we're going to offer the windows as an option. If you guys want that, we can do that. Or you can just pick the regular gull wings. Those are included in all the builds.
Windshield wiper, heated glass, all those as options, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Yeah, those are options. And what he was saying is that the gull wings come standard on it. If you want to add glass to the gull wings, that's an option. That's an additional accessory.
Sure.
So you really can customize this to be any way you want.
Did you guys point out the rear brake light, the third brake light that we integrated into that as well?
Yeah, so that comes stock on all the builds. We have that third brake light. So you don't need the one by the tire mount.
Which is great for those of us that are removing that rear tire to give you a good option to be able to have that light up there. So
now, are you're that's just going to be the light installed? Then you're not going to have like a wiring harness necessarily that comes with that, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it should be just the plug and play, so it's easy on the customer end to just plug it into what Bronco has ready for you.
Okay.
So there's no manual DIY wiring.
Okay. So obviously the rooftop does come off, and Justin, I think you've got a picture of that maybe on social media or something on the homepage that shows the vehicle with the top off. So
behind here, but yes.
And I think if you keep scrolling down, it's there as well.
Yeah. Oh, there we
right
go.
there. Yeah, on social media. So Tyler, switching things up a little bit, talk to me a little bit about your initial reaction to the top and you know, I mean, you went out in the trails with it, so I know it was a prototype, and I know that this was really for fitment and everything else, but kind of give me some initial impressions and, you know, let our audience know what you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, as you guys all know, an important part of our business is that it's BroncBuster tested and approved, right, Amy?
Absolutely.
And so that's what we do. We go out and prove a product. And so the first thing we wanted to do is go out and show, okay, what does it do when we are, you know, flexing on a trail and moving, and is it creaking? Is it making noise? And it didn't. It was very rigid, very strong. So I think from the strength capabilities, and I'll tell you, next week we're going to go into a lot more detail about that on our show when I get that video out. But with that, the strength I think is great, but the aesthetics I really liked. My personal opinion was I don't care for the look of the soft top. I haven't been a big fan of the hard top. So really the top has been the biggest issue with the new Bronco from day one in my mind. I mean, not that I hate the look of the hard top, but it's had so many problems, and I like it to be a little bit more of a slant back like this. So that and the availability or the ability to put molly panels and accessories to really organize the back, I really liked that. I loved the inner liner, that how it kind of cleaned up and made that
was pretty
really
cool.
look cool. I don't know, Amy, I think from Amy's perspective, I want to hear what Amy's favorite parts of it.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
There's so many.
right? I think it was pretty cool that it didn't crush your skull.
We're saving that for later. Come on now. That's next week.
Oh, I jumped the gun a little.
Just a little
Sorry.
bit. That's all right. That's all right. No, I think it's very little secret that we had a little rollover on Pritchett Canyon again, one day after we installed it. But all of that video and content, you'll get a little snippet in the video that we're releasing after the show. So 1 hour after the show, we're going to be releasing the Moab safari trip. Amy out there in the jungle wearing her safari hat, be looking for it. But you'll get to see more of the story of us putting this together. Kind of, a lot of you guys that were out there with us, some of the trails we were able to go do, some of the fun that we had, but it all kind of encompasses on Friday at the vendor night and showing off the new Bronco hardtop, which was really exciting. But I guess really to sum it all up, this has been quite the process. What?
Popo Patty. It's not much of a secret.
All right. Well, no, it's not a secret, Popo Patty, but I'm trying to keep the videos and pictures not out until I can get this video out. So it's going to be a fun one. But I will tell you this, I am very impressed. You'll see in the video how well this thing held up.
It really was. It's surprising just
So
how well.
you'll also see in this video that John was a little bit prophetic when he told me, don't go out and testing it by rolling it or something when we were putting it together. I don't know. It's kind of
Hey, you know what? I that couldn't have been planned.
No, it wasn't planned. I promise you.
I told you not to do it, and what did you do? You went out and did it, and the reality is it did exactly what we designed it to do.
How's it going to be BroncBuster tested and approved, though, if I don't test it to the max, right? No, guys, It was not planned, I promise you. I was doing Pritchett Canyon in two-wheel drive. I said, I want to try and get through this without winching 23 times. So I took a line trying to get through it. Anyways, I don't want to give away too much.
I agree with Robert. He
What?
said I think John jinxed us.
John, yes.
It's John's fault.
It's all my fault.
I'm going to hand you the bill, John. It's your fault.
Usually this show that brings the jinx, but it was outside of the show this time.
Yeah.
It was outside the show.
Just going rogue.
I will say, though, that I got some amazing footage. So you guys definitely want to. We had it.
The funniest thing,
camera angles and stuff. So
the funniest thing is when I get the phone call the next morning, because I didn't go out with you on that, and you're like, John, you're never going to believe this. And I'm like, what did you do? And you're like, I rolled it, and the top held up phenomenally. And I was like, thank the Lord. That's what it was designed to do, but God only knows with you.
Okay,
So,
I will say this with with a lot of certainty, really. If I had been in this instance, it wasn't like the last time. This was a complete rollover coming all the way around. And if I wouldn't, the way I came down on the top, if I wouldn't have that top, I probably would have been injured pretty bad. So, there's very little doubt, and you guys will see that in the video. I would have hurt. It would have crushed that top in the soft top of the rocks that I landed on and stuff. So very impressed. That is a big. Ron was there. He saw it live, so he can tell you with that what he saw. It was great. But
I don't think I was just as excited as Ron was to see it over.
No, I'm.
Ron had a little roll on his side the day before. That's in my video too. Anyways. No, I think this is great. Now, one of the things I don't want to forget about, John asked us what promotions and stuff we have going. So let's highlight the fact that right now for the next 10 days, it's not on my website yet because Justin's still getting it all the plugins built on BroncBusterTX.com. So it will be there in about a week. But meanwhile, I want to give you guys a promotion to be able to still purchase it through them. And I'm going to give away a free, with every purchase, not only will you get 12 months, 0% interest through a firm on the Armadillo site, but use promo code BroncBuster. And Justin's going to show you right now, that'll pop up a free recovery kit. And that kit on our website is called the Tyler. So very appropriate for the hardtop this week. Definitely don't want to pass that up. It's a great kit. This kit is made by Yankum Rope, which if you guys aren't familiar with Yankum, you might be familiar with the rope that the Matt's recovery rope. Well, that's the Yankum rope. So this is our branded Bronco version, the Bronc Lasso, the best quality rope on the market, best quality in my opinion in the world. the capabilities of these recovery rope and the fact that it's 100% made in America, made right in Idaho. We're very proud to partner with Yankum, and we felt it'd be kind of fun to give you guys a free recovery kit. Now, that's just through.
Nice try.
Yeah, right, nice try. I can't give away a bumper, but you use this, and for the next 10 days, you're going to get not only a free recovery kit, but 10% off. So don't forget, promo code BroncBuster. And then in a week from now, we will have it on our website, and you'll be able to still purchase it through there. But we wanted to give you a little extra incentive to get in line first and utilize that 0% interest and utilize the free recovery kit. So
let's talk, Fabian. How long is the 12% interest good for?
May 19th.
Okay, so in May.
Yep.
So in about 10 days, the ability to get the free Bronc Lasso and the 12 months 0% APR goes away, and it'll be what, 6 months 0% APR after that?
Yep, 6 months.
So if you're interested in one, the plan, as I understand it, and Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, the website itself is open for pre-sales. The website says fourth quarter delivery, but talk a little bit about, what you think the realistic timeframes are. Not that we're going to hold you to it, but what do you think the realistic timeframes are for these to start shipping out?
Yeah, so after all the feedback we got and the testing with BroncBuster, we're hoping to really beat that timeline of Q4 and be closer to Q3. But of course, we'll keep you updated on the progress to our website. My nose is back to the grindstone, and we're cranking through prototypes as we speak. So I don't see any reason why we're not able to beat that beat that deadline by a steady margin.
Okay. Your thought process on like how these are going to be shipped and everything else.
Yeah, so it's a pretty modular setup. So customers will likely receive the rear slanter square back pretty assembled with the brake light, with the gull wings, with the rear hatch already installed. And so you'll basically, as a customer, just put the roof rails, bolt them together, and then install that on your vehicle, and then follow up with the 2 or 3 roof panels, and you'll be ready to hit the road.
But how is it shipped itself? Is it freight shipping? Do I need a forklift to get it off a truck, or is there liftgate service? How's that going to work?
Yeah, so I think it'll be it's looking like a light freight shipment where you won't need a forklift or anything of that sort. It'll be in boxes for you to unpack and put together. There'll likely be a pallet size shipment you're receiving, but that'll be dropped right on your doorstep, ready for you to go to town.
Well, so I think if it's a residential delivery, you'll need a liftgate service to get the pallet off the truck, because the boxes will be strapped to a pallet, right? And then if it's a commercial, then you can use a forklift if you've got one or something, but it will be palletized.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Tyler, I don't know that I've got a ton more questions, unless Sam, Fabian, you got anything else that I may have missed as far as things you want to tell the group.
We have a question from Matt there about popping the front part of the top off.
So for that, it'll be compression latches. So similar to how you'd remove or loosen the soft top with the 2 compression latches in front. It's a very similar design. You'll have a few more along the rails to hold the top down, but you'll pop those loose, and you can remove whichever section of the hard top you want. And I think much more previously, someone asked about the J-tops for the Bronco shade, and the answer is yes. You can still install a shade with the roof open. You still have all the access points that you'd have with the either soft top or regular hard top.
You're talking like a Bimini top type thing?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. And all the pictures we've been seeing are all the slant back version, but you also in the 4-door offer a square back too, correct?
Yeah, so we'll hopefully have prototypes of that pretty soon. We have the square back, the slant back, as well as the 2-door model. And just for Moab, we could only crank out the slant back to see that in person. So that's all the physical content we have right now.
Gotcha.
But those are on the way. Those are next in queue. And then we have the limo.
The limo?
The limo's next.
On
Right.
24s.
Yeah.
Guys, I think what you've done in such a short amount of time, being there with you from day one when John and I and you guys first met, and we're sitting there. I have Amy's Bronco in there. You guys were just back from SEMA and showing the what you guys did for the truck cap, and to be able to say, hey, you know what, let's do one for the Bronco, because we're already sitting there talking with John about all the products that we can come up with on the Bronco there. So that was, I mean, literally, John, when was that? End of November of last year that we first came up with.
So they moved out to our shop in mid-December.
Right.
I think from start to finish, from the time that we came up with the idea to now, we've been somewhere between 4 and 5 months.
Right.
And it's funny because we
had the vehicle in November. So, I mean, it's come together very quickly. That's been an amazing process to watch.
Sam is, I can tell you, Sam is an incredible designer and CAD engineer for sure. Fabian and Sam and I and my brother Danny and you have had many conference sessions with whiteboards to try and figure out how we were going to accomplish certain things. And the nice thing is it all came together. And it's funny because we talked to some of the competitors, and when you look at the options out there for hardtops because of how badly Ford kind of botched this up, it's a fiberglass top or it's us. And we talked to some of them, and they were talking about how they had 24 engineers for 14 months to design a fiberglass top. And I said, well, I had one Sam in about 4 months. So, it's overall, it really came together. And I personally love the more aggressive look. I can't imagine anybody that would take a Bronco and want it to look stock like the other fiberglass tops that are out there. So
I love how, it's very customized look. I mean, it did. I mean, BroncBuster already looked tough, but it just gave it that little bit more of a tough look that the soft top just made it kind of look, mall crawlish, I guess. But this top says, I mean business. We're going out to war right now, right? We got that turret going up on top, and we're going to, anyways. That's the image that it gives to me, anyways. I like to think that it's a lot tougher of a look of a Bronco for sure.
And I know in going through the design process and working with everybody that, we were trying to do something that had more feature functions and that was a more usable top that was stronger, that, everything. So I know it's been a hell of a time and a lot of fun, and it's definitely not an easy challenge because there's a lot of bumps and curves and compound angles and definitely not an easy solution. Everybody likes this turret idea.
It just fits, guys. It fits. But no, okay. So Bronco, Derek and Monica asked, how does it work with other roof rack, or does it? Is there any option if he has another roof rack?
So I think a lot of the roof rack questions are going to relate to how they install. The front 2 accessory mounts are still accessible. Sam did add an absolute ton of riv nuts all over the roof and all over everywhere in this. So you have a ton of accessory mounting points. I know that there's a whole slew of additional accessories, everything from cell phone booster to, all the Molly panels on the shelf to, lighting options. We're going to be launching in partnership with you the tire relocation bracket. And, so we have a bunch of accessories that are coming, all focused around the Bronco.
Not just the tire relocation bracket, but some of the most awesome hinges that you've ever seen. I mean,
and we will tease that out. Next week we can definitely reveal that too. But I know the goal with this top was that we partnered with Racket for a reason, because the Racket roof rack we designed with Racket allows you to kind of slide that roof rack out of the way, take the tops off, and slide it back. So it makes it very easy to to transition from the top being on to go kind of the convertible mode. Not to say the other ones wouldn't work. It just depends on how they mount, right? Like if they mounted to the rear of the original top, then they probably are not going to work. If they mount around and underneath, they would work, but you're going to block your gull wings. That's one of the reasons that we kind of designed our own roof rack for this thing. And it's got probably the most functionality of any roof rack on the market, because you've got the interchangeable basket where you can go from a basket to a flat solution. You can take the basket completely off. There's a lot of different features to that roof rack that we try to take into consideration as well.
So that's the biggest point that I want to point out, that we've talked about it, but we haven't really pointed out that this has gone from really, the Bronco was brought as the most modular vehicle, I think, in history. A Bronco, this is something you can pull panels off. You can change out fenders pretty easily. They put accessory points all over. And what you guys have done is taken that and just multiplied it by 10 with the ability to really make it your own. And I think that's what people want. We want to have a Bronco that says that that's me, and it doesn't look like my buddy down the street, right? And that's one of the things that I want to point out that I really do like, is the ability to do whatever you want. It's an open canvas, make it my own, whether it be color matched, whether I have a flag mount on it, whether I have molly panels with all of my stuff mounted, my gas cans or whatever.
Things called a turret.
Yeah, the turret. I think we need a turret option, guys. I'm telling you. I think it'd be a hot seller. So
that'll solve the garage issue for sure.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to tell Popo Patty that it won the battle with BroncBuster testing, so I think it'll win the battle with your garage. Yes, that way.
The garage doesn't stand a chance.
Garage is going to be destroyed when you get through there, but your turret ready Armadillo top is going to survive well. But
with that, I know you had some other stuff, Tyler, you wanted to go through, so
yep.
I appreciate you letting me come in and kind of moderate a little bit, and letting Sam and Fabian kind of talk a little bit more about the top and give updates. I know that a lot of people have been following the journey of how it's made and what we're doing, and there's a lot of hours and a lot of late nights to get there to Moab.
If everybody out there could do an applause right now, I think we'd all be doing this, because you guys have done a phenomenal job. I mean, we know that we got still a few months ahead of us to get everything completely dialed in, but phenomenal job. Sam is an incredibly talented young man that I've been so impressed with working with. John has so many great ideas, and his brother Daniel that you guys have never met, and Fabian and his ideas, and helping in the marketing. And we have Justin in the background making all this website and stuff come together. It takes a team to pull something like this off, and I'll tell you, you guys have done a phenomenal job. And so I think everybody, Popo Patty is inserting clapping. I think everybody out there is clapping right now, because you guys need a big pat on the back for what you've done. And I really, when you said you'd have it at Moab Safari, and I was at your shop and you guys were still cutting and welding, and I'm headed to Moab to get other things ready, I'm like,
the fun was just beginning.
There were some late nights for sure, but here's the beauty of it. A lot of those late nights were still working through some of like the placements of where to mount pistons, and where to mount, how to get the latches to engage and lock on the gull wings, and all that kind of stuff. So it definitely was some long nights. But here's the beautiful thing: the one thing that we love about the way that we design at our shop is that the initial dialing in of everything is the part that takes the most amount of time. Once you get it dialed in, now we have keyholes as to where everything goes, and alignment of everything, so that when the laser cuts it, we get repeatability. The press brake that does all the bending, we get, we program it in. We've got all the angles programmed, so it's just a 1, 2, 3, 4. You're done with that part. You move on to the next part. So now
that's an important part to point out is that it takes a lot longer to produce fiberglass tops from start to finish than it will once we get full production. We'll be able to pump these out pretty darn fast, right, John?
That's exactly where I was going with this. The longest part is the R&D, and there were still a lot of issues as we had Fabian Blanco's Bronco and your Bronco in our shops to test fit it, take it off, go fix something, and then test fit it, take it off, go fix something, and then update the CAD files to then cut another one to do it again. And we probably made 8 tops to bring to the show to work through a lot of those issues and figure out kind of some of those compound angles, because going from a CAD drawing to an actual production unit or prototype, it looks like one thing, but the metal reacts a completely different way from what the CAD layout shows. And sometimes you've got tolerance issues you got to work through. So there was a lot of going around back and forth. But the good news is now, whether you want 10 or you want 100, the repeatability of the equipment that we've got and the ability for us to produce these is much faster than anybody that's making these out of carbon fiber, fiberglass, or any other material. And with the aluminum and the metal, it's going to be a stronger top and comparable in weight. It's not like aluminum significantly heavier. I mean, I think we're like 126 pounds versus 140 pounds for our top. So it's like right in line.
I'm not sure what the soft top weighs, but I've removed that thing several times, and it's awkward and heavy. It can't be that much difference. I bet you that thing weighs pretty close to that.
Ford advertises like 110-ish, I think.
110. So you're
like
20, 30 pounds difference. Yeah.
It's like carrying a dead body, though.
It's 110 all at once versus our top is all components, so you can kind of put it together and piecemeal and
that's a point. That's a good
install
point.
it.
One person can do this, whereas if you're removing your entire soft top, it really takes 2 people. You're going to damage something. So, and especially once you have everything installed, it's really easy to remove a couple of panels, a couple of components. So,
and we
my
tried
wife keeps telling me I have to put my hands down.
He uses his hands so much.
Sorry, I talk with my hands.
Well, and the cool thing about this top was that it was designed to be kind of that permanent install, like we talked about. So once you install the main frame, unless you roll your Bronco and destroy it, you don't have to take off those parts. If you want to go kind of more convertible and more airflow, you take that huge panel on the top off, you take the gull wings in the back off, and you've got kind of all that airflow through there as if you didn't have a top on there to begin with. So that was really an important part of the design, because it was interesting to hear, everybody talking about how difficult it is to get gaskets to work, but they're making gaskets where it comes on and off, on and off, on and off, and that's how you destroy gaskets and get leaks. And that's really what we were trying to avoid. So, with that, Tyler, floor is yours to talk about kind of what else you got coming.
10 minutes. I try and hold this to an hour so we don't bore everybody too much. But I think it's been great. The interaction's been awesome. I do have a really exciting announcement I've been wanting to announce the last couple of live streams, but things have held us up in getting it announced. And that is coming up real soon. We will have a version of the portals for the Bronco here in about a month. We'll have them on my Bronco and on Matt's Off-Road Recovery's Bronco. Hefe, he'll have a set on. We'll also have a couple other people that will be putting them on. So hopefully here in about a month, we'll have 4 Broncos outfitted. We'll be out testing. But these come from German engineering. So Tibus 4x4 out of Germany. We are now the North American distributor for the Tibus portal axle for Bronco and for Jeep. And we will be bringing those and distributing those in quite some numbers. We've had a lot of interest. So I've been really excited to talk about this one, because with portals, it makes things a lot, you will have 5.5 inches of lift. And with that 5.5 inches of lift, it's true lift. So, I mean, all of your suspension, everything goes up. Now we can fit bigger tires on there without affecting geometry at all. We talk a lot about geometry. You literally can go out with your stock suspension and be able to have a lift without changing any of that geometry. The gearing that's needed for those bigger tires, and the ability to take all of that stress off of your drive. Well, not all, but a lot of stress off your drivetrain is huge. So portals have been in Germany for years and years and years. These guys have been doing it for a long time. They primarily do it in very high-end vehicles, the Unimogs, the G-Wagon, they're in Toyota. They're in have them in a lot of vehicles. And in Germany, they're held to a very high standard. The TUB in Germany is way more strict than what we have here in the U.S. I mean, listen, what the learning that I've done and talking with these guys on what they have to do is crazy. So yes, this is a working, everything works. It's a plug and play, about a 2-day install where you will have full ability to have all your ABS sensors working, everything. So it's going to be awesome. I'm excited about this. Yeah, Bronco limo portals. That's right on. No, this is something I've been working on for quite some time. I'm excited to finally say that we have this agreement in place and we're moving forward with it. We'll have this very shortly. So again, before we have them here in mass numbers, we're going to be working on a few vehicles, and then we'll start ramping up production and taking orders here. I hope to start taking orders sometime the 1st of July. So won't until I get them on our vehicle and everything installed in the process and all of that lined out, because part of our agreement with Tybus is that we will come up with all the training and stuff for distributors across the country. As we start distributing out there, we need to make sure we have the videos and how to install and all per their requirements in place. So gear reduction. Oh my gosh, you guys are catching me too late at night. I'll have all that next week. It's like, yeah. Anyway, sorry. I am so tired. There's all this detail I had written down and I can't find it right now. But we'll talk about that in more detail. I do have a couple other things. I know that this is exciting one to you guys, so I'll get all my information and we can have a little bit more in depth. But the other thing is that we're very close to having the upgraded steering rack for the Bronco. We will have the best option on the market, the most affordable with all of the components that is great on the Haas 3.0, upgraded with the BroncBuster part with a lifetime limited warranty. And what that means by limited warranty is that will warranty the housing for the life you own your vehicle. So it won't transfer between owners. It's going to be you purchase it, you enroll that product, and it will stay with the life of that vehicle. If you can break the housing, good luck, because I can't do it. And if I can't do it, I don't think you can. But if you can break it, we'll replace it. And with that warranty, I think that gives everybody the assurance that, okay, I have an affordable option that isn't crazy expensive. There's parts on this that just don't need extensive reinforcement. We've already found all the weak points. We've already reinforced all of the weak points, and we've gone out and tested. I mean, we've got lots and lots of hours of testing to verify that this is in place and ready to go. So with that, I had some meetings with Ford Performance. It's all right now waiting on the supplier to have the steering racks start shipping. Once those start shipping, then and we'll be able to start selling those. You will need, just keep in mind that the one other tool that you will need if you don't already have it, and I encourage you, if this is something you're looking at doing, either we'll be able to sell you the ProCal tool to go with it, or start getting your ProCal tool, because that will be a requirement. You'll have to pull the codes off of your existing rack and then install it on the new one. So the biggest, and really the guys, so in your decision making right now, here's how you decide. You can upgrade your Haas 2.0, your stock rack, with the parts that we have. And again, to date, nobody's broke this, including myself. Or you can go with the Haas 3.0, which gives you 30% more power when you're powering through the rocks. So it's not going to be an option for everybody. Not everybody needs that much extra power, but it is an option. So I know very expensive options here for the Broncos that we just talked about tonight. I mean, we've got a hardtop. We've got the portals. The portals, I guess, are not even in the same realm. So we'll try and work on some deals for you guys too, similar to the 0% interest, because we understand that's a big ticket item, and we're going to be somewhere in that mid 20 range. So that'll all depend on a few factors, but it's still, if you think about it, a lot of people are putting 10,000 into suspension, and then you start wheel spacers or rim wheel. Anyways, you go with all of these different options.
I'm gonna get hit one of these times.
anyways, you start looking at all these options of what it takes to really lift a Bronco and all the braking. I mean, I don't know how many guys are out there braking right now, but I'm reading in the forums and guys are twisting axle tubes. I know we have one on here, Walter's twisted an axle tube, and I was reading tonight that there are a lot of instances of rear axle tubes getting twisted. And we have, of course, we're working on the part to upgrade the front differential tube because that's a big problem. Those are twisting and braking. We're breaking CV axles. And so when you start thinking about long-term portals, and these portals are designed not just for the extreme off-road. That's one thing about Europeans and the way they design this in Germany. This is designed to be a daily driver, have the daily comforts, but then give you that ability to gear down and take the strain off your drivetrain. So it's definitely something as you're anticipating maybe the build you already have or a build that you have on order. It's a very good option for sure.
I think Popo Patty's looking for he's pushing for that gold zinc look.
On 24s.
All right. I'm
With a
ready
turret.
for Popo Patty to do it. We'll come to California and visit you when you do it. How's that? Actually, we'll come bring you on the Rubicon with your gold zinc 24-inch tire build.
It's gonna be the Xbox Live edition.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler, I really appreciate you letting me come moderate and letting the boys at Armadillo come show off where they are in the process and what's coming. We got to get you kind of version 2.0 here soon for the hardtop once Sam's worked through a bunch of the remaining little logistical issues. But like I said, all the hard parts are done. It's really just fit and finish now. And so really appreciate you letting us come on and look forward to next week when we can reveal stuff. And the one thing, like I said, I'd like to do kind of a reveal on the tire relocation bracket next week as well.
Let's put that together. I agree.
To show that off because we spend a lot of time and effort on those replacement hinges that can handle the heavier tire. You can fit 40 to 42-inch tires on the rear. So we've spent a lot of time working through the logistics of that product as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. Guys, a lot of things happening, and we look forward to bringing more of it to you guys. And thank you for joining. We appreciate all of your support. It's so much fun to go out there and wheel with you guys and be part of this community together because really your input, your ideas, your support, your purchases is what helps the innovation of us as a collective team bring these things and really go out and have fun. I mean, the off-road community and the ability that we have to go out and in the outdoors as a family, as friends, as a group, and really enjoy life. Really good things happening, and it's great. So I'm going to leave that tonight with you guys. We're at that hour. I want to thank these guys for all their hard work. Justin, thank you so much. I mean, Justin has been just as much working around the clock.
Everyone in this video has lost at least 2 days and seen the other side of the sun.
Yeah. Well, Justin was going to come to Moab with us, and then he last minute texted and said, I can't do it. I have too much to do to launch the website. And that's part of why we don't have it on ours yet, because we want to let Justin sleep a little bit.
Did you know you can cancel a plane ticket with 5 hours notice? You can.
Wow. All right. That's good. That's good. So with that, guys, hands of applause to you guys for all your hard work. Thank you so much. And we're going to continue on. So we'll see you guys next week. And don't forget, 1 hour. Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Yep, that's what I was going to
1 hour from now at, what time is that? 9 o'clock Central Time. So do the math. However, I'm too tired. We're going to release our first video of, probably going to be 3, but a first video of at least 2 for right now of the Moab trip. And I think you'll find this a fun one, especially any of you guys that were there and can kind of relate to some of the stuff going on. So make sure you watch the video. Check it out.
The Light Police.
The Light Police is a big part of it. And John, these guys were kind of the star of the show. Amy was a big star of the show. So check it out. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks again for joining. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.